Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Watch Me Wednesday. I will be waiting for a few of you to get on. I know you like to get your notifications to show that I'm live before you come and join me. So for those of you who I may have popped up on your Facebook feed, you have no idea who I am or you've come across my YouTube channel, then my name is Natalie O'Shea. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, which means that all the craft products that I'm going to use today are from an American company called Stampin' Up. I also run a business teaching people how to make handmade cards, as you can see, using the lovely card behind me. And you can't see all the bits that are in front of me here. But everything that I use in this video today, I can sell. So if you're sitting there going, how can I get my hands on that? This is how you can get your hands on this. So www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net, and if you go there, every single thing that I've used will be there. But actually, if you look at the description, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're watching this live or on replay on Facebook, you have all the information in the description. So there's a link for every single product, if I've remembered it, in that description. And if you click on that link, then you can see all the products as well. So if you're sitting there going, oh, I wonder what that is, just click on the link and you'll be taken to the shop. You're not committed to anything. You can go and have a good old nose around and just see what I'm using. So hello and welcome. Hi Lisa, welcome. So I haven't got too much to tell you about at the moment that I haven't already told you about before. So if you haven't seen previous videos of mine, then perhaps go back and either look on my Facebook page videos or on YouTube. And if you're not a subscriber to either of those, then please do. Not only is it great for me, it means that when I do go live or when I have uploaded a video to YouTube, you get notified so you don't miss out, and you can choose whether you want to watch me or not and fast forward through the chatty bits and straight to the crafting if you want to. But hello and welcome everybody. So yes, what have I got to tell you really? So Celebration is still on, so we have a new catalogue that came out on the 5th of January, and obviously that is still available. Our annual catalogue is still available until the middle of this year. Celebration is on at the moment, which means that if you purchase a certain amount of product, then you can pick free products. In actual fact, today I'm going to be using two of the products. One is a product that if you spend £45 you can pick for free, and one is a product that if you spend £90 you can pick for free. And I'm going to use them both today and show you them both, although I've just realised they're behind me, not in front of me. So I'll grab those in a minute. But yeah, so that's the primary thing of Celebration. It means that if you're spending money anyway, you just get free rewards. It's just on for January and February. Hi, Ali and Polo. And yeah, if you place a large order, so if you've gone through and you've got a massive wish list and it's over £150, then you start earning freebies and things like that. But if you really do have a wish list of £150 or more, then we really should talk about you joining to get the discount for yourself. You don't have to do anything. I've gone through my Stampin' Up story and what I do as a demonstrator, and the name's a bit misleading. I think they should, yeah, whatever. I think we'll forever argue about that. But many people join Stampin' Up just to get a discount off their goodies. They're buying the stuff anyway. They've got big wish lists. Why wouldn't you get a discount? I am Mrs. Cynic, and there is no catches. So that's something that's going on at the moment as well. You can do it any time of the year. You pick £130 worth of goodies for £99. That includes your P&P. And if you do it during Celebration, which goes on till the end of February, you get 200 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper as well. So, hi Jackie. So yes, that's kind of what's going on. So when I'm saying Celebration, it's a promotion that Stampin' Up run. It's an American company. Everything is in our 50 main colours, plus black and white and vanilla. But yeah, so when you're sitting there going, oh, that matches really well, that was the one thing that sold me to Stampin' Up, was everything coordinates. So you'll see the card coordinates with the colours in the pattern paper just perfectly, and the ink in the pens that I'm going to use coordinate perfectly, and that's it. And that's what sold me to Stampin' Up really in the first place. So should we kind of get on with it? I've not really got an awful lot to chat about. I can't tell you about Card Club because Card Club has closed for this month, but it will be opening in a week's time. Yeah, in fact, in a week's time on the 1st for sign-ups. I could give you a sneaky peek of that if I I can find it. Let me give you a sneaky peek of February's card club. She says, I don't know what I've done with them. I put them somewhere so safe, I can't remember. Oh, I could give you a sneak peek of two, but don't tell anyone. Let's... If I change cameras, actually, there we go. This might give you a tip as to what we're doing today. But this is one of the cards in February Card Club. So I say, don't get excited about this. Well, you can show an interest. So if this is something that you would like. So my card club is a monthly subscription. It's £25 a month. And you get everything through the post. So all the cardstock, die cuts, and ribbon and embellishments and things like that, the pattern paper. I don't include the stamps or dies, A, because you might have them, B, you might not want them, C, you might use something else you've got, but you do have an option to add it on if you want to. And so we are all about gilding flakes next month, and I will share some information with you on how to use those at another time, but that's not for today. Maybe next week, probably over the next 2 weeks, I'll do a gilded leaf. We'll get it everywhere. It's great fun. But that's one of the cards that people would be making. You make 8 cards, or there's more than enough for 8 cards. 4 different designs, 2 of each card, and that is one of them. So super simple. And then you go from one extreme to the other, which is Gilded Flake Central. So there's all sorts of tips and tricks that we go through as to how you can use the gilded flakes to get that great. Look at that. I love it. That's it though, because I shouldn't have shown you. But that is going to be February's class. So you can actually, there is a link in the description. You can actually go and register your interest to start in February. But yeah, I don't actually properly launch it until the 1st of the month. So as long as you sign up by the 14th of the month, you can, oh, it's back to me for a minute. As long as you sign up by the 14th of the month, then you would get that kit. And it does include gilding flakes and all sorts of things. And to say, if you want the stamp set and the die set, you can upgrade to that if you want. But you don't have to, it's up to you. But £25 through your door, 8 cards every month. People, I love it, they love it. It's all great. And I say, we did blending brushes in January, and we are doing gilding flakes in February. It's not always technique based or anything, but just so happens that's what I've picked for these 2 months. I'm getting ahead of myself. I have no idea what I'm going to do in March yet, but there we go. Right, so should we get on with what we're making today? Unless anyone's got any questions or want to ask me anything or say anything, I'll put these back for the moment so they're out of my way. Or should we just get on with it? I know you're delayed. You're about 20 seconds behind me. So if I say, got any questions and no one answers, it's not necessarily because you haven't got any questions. But I'll see them in a minute. We'll move the screen back to here. And I want to... I wish that was a little bit more. Oh, I can't do that, can I? Let me adjusting my lights. They're not too bad. It is a very grey and dismal day here today. But this is the card we're going to be making today, hence why you can see this here. If I do that, you wouldn't know, would you? But let's bring it right up so you can see that. So we're going Hummingbird. And it's the first Hummingbird. And I did say last week, I'm not the world's best colourer-innerer. I am learning, but I was supposed to attend a class on Saturday. But I missed it. I had to go to Tesco's. For those of you who don't know, we were isolating because my eldest son had COVID. Thankfully, touch wood, we got away with not having it, but we were self-isolating for 10 days. And Saturday was the first day I could go out and get some food. So yeah, so first thing Saturday morning we were out because we were out of everything by then. So yes, so I missed the first bit. So I'm going to become an expert, but I'm not quite. But I'm all right. I do okay. So what are we using today? So that is the stamp set that we are using. As I've said, it is one of the celebration items. So if you spend £90 on anything of your choice during Stampin' Up, so before the end of February, you can pick this stamp set for free. And it is generally a 2-step stamp, as in you would stamp the outline and then you can colour in with another stamp. So these blobs fill in these images with colour. That's what they're supposed to do. So every single image can be coloured in with one of these stamps. Variety of sentiments, best wishes, thank you so much, thinking of you, hello friend. I mean, you know, what's not to love about those, covers most things. And it is a photopolymer set, so I have got quite a lot of them out. But it is 2 sheets. If I put them around that way, you might be able to read the words. You can see all the ones I've got out. But yeah, so 2 sheets of stamps. And how many stamps are in there? 17 stamps in total, which is why it's one of the higher price stamp sets. We're also going to be using the Painted Textures 3D embossing folder. Now I have done this all ahead of time, so you're not sitting there watching me clunk my machine around. If you have no idea, if you're brand new to crafting, you have no idea what this is or how to use this, basically what happens is if this was a piece of paper, you put a piece of paper in between, you sandwich it, and you run it through a machine that just basically squeezes it. And then out comes, look at that, look at that. So you can have all sorts of things. So this is a painted texture, so it's almost like acrylic paint or gesso or plaster on your walls that's just kind of done that. So that's been a completely plain, that started off like that, just plain and flat, normal piece of paper, and now it's been turned into this. It just gives you extra texture. And embossing folders come in, well, all patterns and sizes in fact as well, but all sorts of patterns, but this is painted texture and I just love it. It really does add some texture to our background. So that's another thing we're using. But we are also using, now I go on about this all the time, so the stitched shapes framelit dies, everyone should have these. It's just how the way it is, everyone should have them. They are 12 dies. I've lost that one in a class. I have treated myself to a new set, but they're bigger. They come in a bigger pack now. These magnetic sheets I just got off of, well, a craft store, but you can even buy them on Amazon and everything now. Just magnetic sheets, as the name suggests. So you get 4, so ignore that one. So you get 4 ovals, 4 circles, 4 squares, all with this stitched detailing. I mean, if I bring that card right up, can you see? I mean, I know it's detracted by the spots, but there's a stitched line going all the way round. You can see it more there, all the way round the circle. So it just means instead of just a plain circle, it just adds a bit of detail, that's all. And then they're your general sizes. They obviously go up and down in size, so they overlap and mat each other and layer perfectly. So that is that, and I've used the largest circle on that today. So everyone should have stitch shapes. If you don't have, you could just, you know, circle punch if you've got a big circle punch, or draw around the bottom of a cup if you haven't got anything. If you're new, draw around the bottom of a cup and cut it out. That's how we all start before we all have all the gadgets. So this is the other celebration item that I'm going to show you. So this is called In Blooms DSP. I have shown you this on another video, and you might be sitting there thinking, where have you used that? Well, let me show you. You get this 12 by 12, 12 inch by 12 inch or 30.5 centimetres square, and they're all double-sided. So Stampin' Up tend to have some whoa way out there on one side and a little calmer and smaller on the other side. So if I show you those, so you could cut all these out independently or use them, but actually you'll see which one I've used in a minute. So if I turn that one over, that's that sheet, and you have 2 of each. So 6 pages, 2 of each. So you get this one, and if I turn that over, you've just got a stripe. If I turn that one over, you've got the blue little flowers. I like this. I'm a bit of a circle freak, so I just like that like that. I don't think it needs too much on there. And that's got a kind of herringbone, whatever it's called. Now this is the bit I've used, so I've only got this one, but I like that. That's nice with the dark background. But again, you could cut these all out and put them all on cards and layer them up, which I know lots of people are doing. But that's the sheet that I've actually used. You can see that now there. Get rid of that one. So that's the pattern paper. So just a nice vine, all looking very naturey. Like that as well. I nearly used that one. So diagonal stripy bits with a few dots. But that's the pattern paper, and you can get that for free. So I say normally £10.75 for a pack of 12 by 12 pattern paper, but you get that free, £10.75 free if you spend £45 or more. So should we get started? So I have done a lot of the prep beforehand, but I'm going to be colouring with you. I don't know what's got over me. I don't know why I keep colouring. And again, I'm going to excuse my nails. If you're not watching this in lockdown and you're watching this in several years' time, it's lockdown. I can't get my nails done. They look awful, and that's all you're going to look at now. But there we go. Luckily, you can't see the grey in my hair. But you know, that's lockdown life. Lockdown life. Normally, I'd be horrified. I would never come and do a video with my nails looking like that. But you know, needs must. Got to get on with life, haven't we? Right, lots more people joining. Hi, everybody. Hi, Janet. Hi, Kayla. Oh, are you up late? You must be up late, Kayla. Down under. Right. So, as always, if you've watched me before, I never score my cards down the middle because I can't get it right. So, I just make sure they match up, hold tight, get my bone folder. Job done. And that's it. So, as I say, I ran this through my embossing machine with that embossing folder. Now, I don't give measurements on these Facebook Lives, but you will see again from the description that you can sign up to get a PDF for this. It's just an email address, and you can unsubscribe at any time. I send sort of one email a week, that's all. But that will, the first thing you'll get is a PDF with all the measurements and the step-by-step instructions and photos for this card. Now that's only available for a week, so if you're watching that, if you're watching this after a week's time, whatever that is, 3rd of Feb maybe, then it will have changed to next week's one. So if you do want to get your hands on all the PDFs that I do for these Facebook Lives, then come and join my Facebook group. That is also in the description as well. So it's card making for beginners and beyond, and every Wednesday I share this video and I share the PDF in there for free. So if you come on in there, it's not for Stampin' Up demonstrators, I'm afraid, people, but anybody who isn't, then you are more than welcome to come in and grab those PDFs, as I say. So that's why I don't kind of do measurements here, because they're all written on the PDF, and I might only repeat myself about 10 times and get it wrong. So that is the painted textures embossing folder, and all I've done with that, have I done that flat? I did do that flat actually. So you can decide which way round you want it. You can see there, you kind of get a half debossed or a half embossed, and I kind of like the embossed bit. So I didn't put this on my instructions. This is my Snail Plus, and I'm loving that at the moment. I tend to do a bit of a tombow really, so I can wiggle a little bit, as you know. I'm obviously being brave today. Right, where's my pattern paper? Uh-oh, there it is. Okay, so I've cut out a piece of old olive card, and that is just going to go on that as well. So again, I've just put that on flat. Just left an even border, so I'm just making sure that that border, and that border, because I can't see over here, is as even as can be. And as I say, this is why I normally use Tombow, just in case I get it wrong. That'll do. I know you'll forgive me for not being perfect. And then dimensionals, 3D foam tape, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to use. We do strips of this and whole sheets, but on little bits like this, this is fine. I tell you, without my nails on, it's a lot quicker to get these off. She said, oh, I spoke too soon. Right, and so I'm just going to put that in the middle, and again I'm just trying to make sure that that is the same as that is the same as that, and as straight as can be. So I'm putting the card on my grid paper, and I'm making sure the card is straight, because that's the first step in trying to get it right. And then I'm just eyeballing, and I'm normally right over the top of this, but I can't see. But that'll do. That'll do, I think. So I nearly thought I'd put that. Oh, you know me, I like to change things up. We might go that way actually. Ooh. Oh, I might. Let's do that way. You know me, if I do a portrait, I like to do a landscape. So in fact, yeah, I might do it that way. We'll see when I've done it and put it together. But at the moment, that's all I need. So everything else is on this circle and a scrap piece of paper. So what else have we got in there? Caleb, it's almost midnight. Goodness me, what are you doing? Watching YouTube videos. Well, not YouTube videos, Facebook Lives. Heather says, as Paul O'Grady said the other day, we've all gone to the dogs. Yeah, Heather, do not look at my hummingbird colouring. I haven't caught up on my 2 hours yet, as I said. Hi, Norma. Right, so let's start, shall we? So two different, or a technique that I've not tried before this morning. In fact, I think I was a little bit heavy-handed on that one, so I'm going to go even lighter. So people have called it no line colouring. So basically, we get a really light. So this is my Sahara sand. So it's a really light brown. And just to give you an idea, let's in fact, let's stamp on scrap paper. Now, sometimes photopolymer stamps don't have the sponge that the red rubber stamps have on them. So if you're finding you're not able to stamp properly, or it's not working properly, it's not all coming out properly when you're stamping on a solid base, just put a cushion underneath. So it could be a cushion that we sell, it could just be like a mouse mat, something like that. Just something that gives you a little bit of a sponge cushion, if you like. I mean, I'm not too bad, but I think as you get bigger, you might struggle. But yes, basically you need to replace that sponge that is between normally the red rubber and that if you're having difficulties. If you're not, knock yourself out, carry on. So let's just go, I'll do it there, can you see? Right, so that's one inking, one stamp, or first impression, second impression, third impression, don't know how far we're going to go, probably fourth. There you go. So can you see the differences you could get anyway? I've seen this done quite well with things to make them look like they're moving. So I've got running flowers at the moment. But you're basically doing it with a really light ink, so much so that you almost can't see it. Now I've probably done, well I know I've done it, a bit too dark on that one because I can still see it. But I'm going to go, that was second impression, and this time I'm going to go third, I think, because I'm not sure I can see fourth. Even with my glasses on, but you know, I'm gonna play along with you. So I do my flower first. Lily was gonna go straight on then. Right, so I'm gonna stamp off. What did I say I was gonna do? 3. 1, 2. Count 3. There you go. So you can see it's light enough. I could have probably done 4, but you know what? That'll do. Oh, where are you? So it's quite light, it's not as solid and dark as that one, and that's enough for me for my guide for colouring in. Whilst I'm there, I'm also going to stamp my sentiment as well. So I pick the Thinking of You sentiment out of there, Night of Navy ink, and this is where it's not going to matter if I go a bit wonky with this stamping, because the flower can just go at an angle, whatever angle it is that I get right. I will try and do my best. But you know what I'm like about stamping straight onto things? I don't know why I keep doing it, to be fair. Oh, there you go, that'll do. Right. And then what I've also got, the Sahara, well, I've got the Sahara sand out, and before I start colouring, you've got a stamp here, which is just this little speckle. Can you see that? I think you can see that. Which is, whoop, there you go. Don't look at the state of my blocks. So, I'm not going to go first impression. I'm going to go second impression when I remember. There we go. I know I'm going to go first on something, surely. And I'm just putting, again, it just adds some more texture. Move your stamp round. I might put a little bit more there. Just adds a bit more interest and texture to a plain background. That's all. So can you see where we are? I know this light isn't great. Hold on, if I do that. Well, I might do that full stop actually. There we go. Oh, dark, light. So that's where we're at the moment. Looks all right like that, to be fair. But let's... Hi Anita, hi Norm. I've said Norma. I've said hello to Norma already. I can say hello to you twice though. So we're making this card here. We've done that bit for those that have joined up. So we've got a base card that's white. We've got a layer of embossed white, layer of old olive and a layer of pattern paper. But now we're focusing on this circle. Oh, I've got to remember my ribbon as well. Right, so the colours that I've used on this are a Cuckoo Rose, and which I think I've spelt wrong, and 1C, 1C, R-O-C-O-C-O. And again, I'm not an expert. Heather, look away now. But I'm going to go Rococo Rose for the flowers, and I'm going to go light first. So these are always in a duo, light and dark, just so you can add some shading and things like that. But you don't have to. You know, if you're like me, now before I do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round the edge over the Sahara sand, and I'm just going to colour in the whole of the flower at the moment. So you can start with light or you can start with dark. And I know it's a bit boring watching me colour, especially when I'm no expert. But you know, practice makes perfect, don't they say? Is that one? That is one, right. And then kind of round there. So I use the bullet end just because it's a reasonably small end. So this got two ends. You've got a thin line for the bullet end and a fat line, hold on, for the brush tip. So if it was a larger area, I might do it on the other flower. I'd use the brush tip, but for now, I'll just use these. Now these are alcohol-based marker pens, which means they won't leave streaks that you can get in some water-based marker pens. And as the name suggests, they blend together. And that's why they give you a light and a dark. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with just colouring it in like I'm colouring it in. One colour, job done. But we want to add, we want to be posh and add some texture. Right, Heather, look away now. So I'm going to go, I'm not going with a whole light source here kind of thing. I'm just kind of going with I know that flowers are darker, kind of in the middle. And again, don't look too closely at the moment because I haven't finished. So I'm just adding my darker. So I know there's dark there. There'd be dark here. So I'm following those lines, which you may not be able to see now, but I can. Just about. So that's it. You don't want it so light you can't see what you're doing, you see. Oh, I can't actually see where that flower goes. I think that kind of goes like that. And this is the middle of that one. And I think there's another bit there. Give or take, that will do. So then I'm going to go back in with my light. Oh, not on the brush end. And I'm just going to blend, as it says. And all that is just going back over again. Now, the more you blend, the more it will kind of not stand out. And you do want a bit of that standing out still. So I'll kind of go over it once. It's just letting the kind of liquids dry together. The alcohol, a little bit there. And again, really want to do the whole thing. And we'll see. Might do the green and come back to it and see how it dries. So, because I'm just going to leave it like that for a minute because it's still wet. And it wouldn't necessarily smudge if I pushed it, but it's not mixed together properly. So right, light old olive. So I'm going down the stem and across there. Whee. I'm really concentrating here, so I can't see if anyone's making any comments. I have to really concentrate. I don't know why I sit there and why do I do this to myself? I could make anything I wanted to, but no, let's choose a colouring in card. I haven't even done the Hummingbird yet, so goodness knows what we're going to do with that. There we go. And then again, my dark now. I'm not going to put dark on my stem particularly, but I know it would be dark in the middle of a flower. And I know it would be a bit darker there, and a little bit there, a little bit there, and a little bit there. Back over with my light. Now the more and more you go over this, the more and more it will bleed. So you can't go over it 100 times. And I haven't learnt the whole art of leaving a bit of white and light and all of that. But I will. You wait, I'll be an expert one day. But actually that needed, because that is a different flower there, that needed a bit of dark there to separate that. I'm just going to do that with the light again. leave that and see how it looks in a minute once it has all dried. So whilst that's drying, I'm going to do our hummingbird. So I'm going to actually stamp the hummingbird in our Night of Navy. Now, because these blends are alcohol based, you can't use an alcohol based ink pad to stamp your images. So for example, for the moment, if I wanted to stamp this in black and I was using a black stays on ink pad, and I started colouring, the black would start mixing with the alcohol in the ink pad would start to mix with the alcohol in these pens. So you want opposites, like vinegar and water, isn't it? Or oil and water. No, vinegar and water. Oil and vinegar or oil and water. So they repel each other is where I'm going with it. Right, so look at this beautiful, look. Beautiful design. And I'm going to try and colour him a bit differently this time. So I did go on the old interweb this morning and have a look at what hummingbirds look like and what colours they were. I mean, obviously you can colour it anything you want. It doesn't have, well, you could chop off its beak and not make it a hummingbird and make it any bird you wanted to. But I thought I'd try and be as realistic to nature as I could be. And I don't have a die for this, so I'm going to cut this out by hand as well. I know. What's going on today? So Night of Navy. So these aren't alcohol-based ink pads. These ones, they're water-based dye ink pads, and so they're fine for what we're doing. And I went blues and greens. So get rid of my Rococo Rose. I want to. So when I looked on Tinterweb, hummingbirds are blue and green, basically, very green, more green than blue, but there we go. And as I say, I'm no expert, and these are quite similar. Look at those two. It's quite hard to tell the difference between those. So it does have on here dark Seaside Spray and light Night of Navy. I mean, let's just have a quick look at what difference they are. Where's my fat ends? So this is dark Seaside Spray, quite grey, and the light Night of Navy. So out of their caps, they're very different, but that's sometimes why it's good to have, if you've got blends, is to put on some scrap paper or something, or do a posh chart and colour in the colours that you've got, because often they can look quite different, as that does on just with the lids and that, but you can see from the ink what it is. Right, so I'm going to try and leave a bit more white this time, and go with, well, all these really. I'd say I'm no expert. The first thing I did though was light Seaside Spray, and I was trying to be all clever and go in between the lines and colour it perfectly. I don't need to, because I'm cutting this out. So in actual fact, oh, let's try here's my brush tip. I can go over the whole thing and not worry. How clever is that? I thought about that afterwards. So that's how light the light Seaside Spray is. So you can hardly see any colour at all, but it just takes that white off slightly. And then I'm going to go dark Seaside Spray. So my hummingbirds that I saw definitely had some green. So I'm going to go light Old Olive. So the Old Olive still pulls it into the leaves on the flower and on the pattern paper, the card and the pattern paper as well. So I'm just going to start adding, and as I say, I'm no expert, but streaks of green, kind of, he was very green, the one I saw. A bit here. we might have a multi dot bird at this rate. And then I'm going to go dark Seaside Spray. So if I'm thinking the sun's up here, then I'm going to go brush as well. I'm going to have a bit of a dark underbelly, but again, it's not too dark. Look, I'm going to have probably dark underneath my tail. Might have a bit of dark here, and again, I'm not staying in between the lines, and a bit more dark here. But actually, I want even darker, which is where the Night of Navy comes in. But I'm going to go light Night of Navy first, which was that one, wasn't it? So I might do, I'm just playing really. I've got patchwork hummingbird. You know, I might do darker along there. Probably might be as dark as I go. And then I'm going to go back in with my light sea spray, and again, just so I haven't got real harsh lines and splats and dots, and it's just releasing. But what you can see, so it might depend on what kind of, it needs to take a little bit to dry because I've just loaded a load of alcohol on it. Very different to this one. So a lot lighter, a lot more subtle green, but I quite like it. I might quite like it just like that. Yeah, well, I haven't even gone through. Yeah, I don't think shall I do a little bit of, am I going to spoil it if I do this now? A little bit of darker green. Along there. But again, I'll still go in with my light. I've said this before, I think I said it last week. I'll say it again, you can go on and do this for ages. And ever, and ever, and ever, and ever. You can see how how professional I'm being today. I quite like that. Quite like that. As you can see, I've put quite a lot of, smells great. And the more you put on, the more it will start bleeding outside as well. But again, I don't care for this one because I'm cutting them out by hand exactly. I'm going to leave no borders or anything like that. So to me, it doesn't matter how much. But the more and more you start loading it, it is going to start spreading and spreading. And there are things such as our colour lifter, which can push it back, or you can, I mean, I don't know if it will show. If I wanted to try and make this, I'm not sure it'll make it. I can just lighten this up. It's quite light anyway. If I wanted to lighten this up. I use it more for pushing back, which I don't think it's going to show because I've flooded it. But colour lifter, as the name suggests, lightens something up a little bit as well. So I keep adding, and then I have to keep waiting for it to... I like that. It's not as dark as the other one. That'll do. Right, let's start cutting. So, best advice for cutting out when you haven't got a die or a punch, a pair of our snips, super sharp, nice, perfect size. And as you watch me, what you'll see is I'm going to be moving the piece of paper and barely moving the snips at all. Now, yeah, cutting out his beak is a little bit, don't chop his beak off unless you want to, because you've made him into something else. So as you see, look, I'm barely moving my scissors. My scissors are going to go up and down as in to cut, but just moving the card. And I tend to kind of do that and then go off and then start round here. Don't know why. Leave the complicated bits to later. And now you can all sit and watch me cutting out. Hopefully it won't take me too long. And I'm not doing it perhaps as carefully as I would do if you weren't watching me, because I'm very aware this isn't the most exciting thing in the world. So how are we doing anyway? For those of you who it isn't almost midnight, how's the weather where you are? Have you got any blue skies today? Still got snow? Not got snow? We're just grey and dreary. In fact, all the snow's gone now, so we must have heated up a little bit. Because the sun doesn't really get in our back garden at the moment, and so we had the remnants of, was it Sunday's snow? Right, don't cut off his beak, Nat. And I am going to leave, oh, I didn't do bad at all. I'm going to chop that there. But, I mean, I'm being really finicky, but can you see there's a bit, no, I don't know if you can. Hold on, hold on. He's got a bit of white, oh, on his beak. Because if I cut it out much more, he's going to, I'm going to chop his beak off. So I'm just picking, you could pick a black, but I've got the dark night of navy out. So I'm just going like that, and suddenly I've got no white bits anymore. There we go. Right, so let's finish cutting his tail feathers. I need to stop doing colouring Facebook Lives until I get a bit better. But you know, as I say, we can only do what we can do. There we go. Right. That's him. So he's very different patchy, different colours, but that was what my hummingbirds were like when I saw them. Right, so let's see how we can make this a landscapey card, where we need to go. So he needs to go on my flower. So I'm going to have a bit of ribbon. So this ribbon is the white weave ribbon out of the For Every Season ribbon pack. So I'm just folding it. I've still got it on the reel here. I only want about that much. So I'm doing that, and because I've already cut it at an angle, I'm going to use that as my kind of template to cut my underneath one, so they're both exactly the same. Clever, clever. Right, and I'm going to want this to kind of go like that. So I'm not going to move it. I'm going to stick, hold on, to keep it together. I'm going to stick a dimensional there, because then that's going to keep those together properly. And if I do that and put my, do I want to go there? Where's my bird? Yeah, do you know what, that looks all right. Make sure my thinking of you is as straight as it can be. And actually, can you, oh. I'm sticking that down. I haven't put any more dimensionals on it, so it's not going to stick at all. Oh dear. It's all very well being sitting there and trying for it to be perfect when you haven't got any dimensionals on it. Right, but I am trying to make sure my thinking of you. Now, now I can move that a bit closer. So can you see now? You've got a bit of shading there, as I say. I'm no expert, but you can see a little bit of darker in the middles and around the bottom of each of those petals of the flowers underneath. A little bit more in the centre. As I say, no expert, but that's it. So I'm going to try and get my thinking of you as straight as I can. And again, I'm making sure I've got it's straight on that central panel as it can be. Make sure it's opening the right way. It is, yep. There we go. And then my bird is going to be, it's going to mainly be on there. So actually, I'm going to put a dimensional on his head, one on his tail. And these are just the normal size. They're not the mini size. Perfectly sized for those. There we go. And where's he going to go? Right, put my card straight. I reckon he's feeding right from there, isn't he? That's where he's supposed to be, in the middle of that. I'll go a bit further. I think just there. There. That'll do. Right, let's get rid of all this mess that I've made. There we go. So, oh, no, that's not something. So that's it. I wish I had a cleaner piece of paper, but if I move that over, look, guess what I was doing? So I can't even, oh look, did we do that? Let's move that out of the way. There you go. That's not as filthy, is it? Not as distracting. There. No, nothing here to see. So there we go. So as always, this is kind of my thing now, I think, trying to make portrait cards landscape and vice versa. So that is our card for today. What have we said? With intricate things that like you're cutting out, find it helpful to stamp it also on the base piece. Then if you accidentally cut the beak off, it wouldn't matter. No, absolutely. So what she's saying is that she would have stamped the hummingbird on this circle so that when she sticks it over, if she chopped off his beak would still be stamped there, which is absolutely right. Great top tip there, Katie. Oh, hello, Kim. There we go. Little card for you. You've just missed it. I don't know how long you've been here. But yeah, I mean, that's our 2 cards for today. So I think that's I'm not going to promise it, but that might be my thing, my portrait to landscape cards, doing the same kind of thing. But that was new for me today. So today I hadn't done no line, and it's definitely a lot. Can you see? Oh, I can't see because I've just switched the camera. See the difference in those flowers as well? So that one, it was the second impression stamping, and you can see a little more detail. But that one was the third, and in actual fact, you can hardly see now that the lines of the stamp, which is why it's called no line colouring. So that's definitely a better version of that. So third time that was, and if you're really brave, 4th time. But I think as soon as you go round it, you can't see an awful lot. So that was my thing. So that was my first no line colouring, and then I like the colouring on my second butterfly. It's not a butterfly at all, he's a hummingbird, but he could be a butterfly. So if you don't have the hummingbird stamp sets and you're not spending £90 before the end of February, you could replace him with a butterfly, a bird, any other birds that you've got. Dragonflies would work well on that as well. But there we go, come back to me. Thanks, Janet. So yeah, I mean, has anyone got any questions or anything? I've been 46 minutes again. I swear blind every time I'm like, no, come on, let's get on with it. We're not going to be that long. And I just talk too much. I think is the problem. But there we go. So as I said at the beginning, if you have liked any of these projects, if you're kind of like, I must get, I've fallen in love, wrong way, as always. I've fallen in love with the Touch of Ink stamps and I want those for free. Then collate your £90 order and you can get that for free before the end of Feb. If you were sitting there going, I love those papers that I can't get now. What have I done with them? I've put them behind me now. Those papers, then you can get those for free with the £45 order. But everything that I've used today, everything, the colouring, the stamps, the blocks, the ink pads, the paper, the card, even the bone folder, is all available at natalieoshea.stampinup.net. And I think that's it. So, unless you've got any questions, I'm going to leave you be for another Wednesday. Kim's been on about 2 minutes. Well, you've got the best 2 minutes. You've got the cards at the end. Join the club. I think she means talking too much. I know. Always takes longer. But there we go. If you have loved this, then give me a thumbs up or a heart. If you think there's somebody else that you might find that you think would like to see this, then hit share for me, and that just means that more people that share it, the more people that see it, the more people that Facebook lets see it as well. So which is always good for me. I'm trying at the moment to desperately get my YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers. I'm about 300 away, but that doesn't matter. In fact, I've got 100 and something or other in the last 2 days just by asking my friends. So please do me a favour. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go and do that. I'd be really grateful. But that's it. That's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you for joining me for another Watch Me Wednesday. I hope you've enjoyed that card and it's given you some inspiration. It can be done with any flowers. The whole no line technique can be done with any images at all that you've got. So why not give it a try? Pick out your lightest ink pad. It doesn't have to be a brown. It could be a yellow, a blue, a pink or anything. As long as it's as light can be, so you can barely see it, then it looks like you're not colouring in a whole stamped image. So give it a whirl. I'd love to see what you do. So let me know. And as I say, Card Club, if you like those cards at the beginning, I'll be opening up registration on the 1st, but you can still register your interest by following the link in the description and filling in the form. That shows your interest and I'll send you more information. But that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. As always, as I say, there's the address again one last time. It's online, so you can do it any time of day, 24/7. And yeah, go grab your free stamps. That hummingbird is beautiful. So I'll see you next Wednesday.